Arne Slot might be just 11 Premier League games into his Liverpool tenure, but he's already taken them to the top of the table faster than many anticipated. At the start of this season, the Reds were seen as mere third-place candidates, overshadowed by the anticipated two-horse race between Manchester City and Arsenal. After all, both Manchester United and Arsenal declined after Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsène Wenger retired, so the same would inevitably happen to Liverpool once Jurgen Klopp stepped down, right? Fans even dreaded that bringing in Slot might mean hiring their own version of Erik ten Hag, considering he was also Dutch and also bald. But what nobody expected was for Slot to hit the ground running, becoming the best debutant manager in the league's history. So, what's driving Liverpool's impressive title challenge? Let's first dive into Liverpool's squad, which is well balanced in every department and brimming with familiarity and experience from past seasons. Despite their star-studded roster, the Reds display remarkable commitment and organization on the field, ready to sacrifice for one another. In fact, this could very well be the strongest lineup Slot would have during his time at Anfield, especially considering the uncertain futures of Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Mohamed Salah, three world-class players who would be incredibly difficult to replace if they leave next summer. After a relatively easy start to the season, doubts emerged about how Liverpool would fare in a challenging run of 7 games against tougher opponents. However, they passed that test with 6 wins and 1 draw, sometimes with flair and other times by grinding out results. Notably, 5 of those 6 wins came by just 1 goal, highlighting that while they may not have always been dominant, they have shown remarkable quality and mental fortitude to secure results. Defensively, Liverpool have been solid, conceding just 10 goals in 15 matches across all competitions this season. The combination of Klopp's imprint and Slot's fresh approach has fostered greater defensive stability while retaining the attacking tenacity to execute comebacks. So far, Slot has effectively relied on a small core of players, with his preferred lineup changing only twice this season. First when Ibrahima Konate dislodged Jarrell Quansah in defense, and more recently as the informed Curtis Jones took more playing time over Dominic Szoboszlai in midfield. However, a potential concern is the risk of injuries to key players, particularly since only 16 Liverpool players have logged over 150 league minutes this season. If injuries strike, those ranked between 17th and 22nd on Slot's depth chart will need to step up and deliver. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. Arne Slot enjoyed a successful tenure at Feyenoord, averaging 2.15 points per match over 148 matches and leading them to the Eredivisie title in the 2022-23 season with a high-pressing, possession-based style. Since Klopp's system also emphasized intense pressing, Liverpool's players have quickly adapted to Slot's framework. In many ways, the Dutchman has fine-tuned Klopp's approach, replacing chaos with a more organized plan for dominating matches. Currently, Liverpool look like the most polished team in the Premier League. The transition from Klopp to Slot has been seamless, maintaining their attacking football while reducing their vulnerabilities to counterattacks, an issue that plagued them in Klopp's final season. While they seemed somewhat reserved in the early weeks of this season and suffered a surprise 1-0 home defeat to Nottingham Forest, they are increasingly winning matches more comfortably and without fuss. The recent 2-0 win over Aston Villa showcased a ruthless efficiency, scoring from 2 of 3 clear chances on the break, reminiscent of the kind of performances an early Ferguson, Wenger or Mourinho side would deliver. In terms of goal margins, we haven't seen anything truly spectacular from Liverpool so far. Last season, they scored 4 or more goals 7 times, a feat Slot's side has yet to achieve, although they did put 4 past Leverkusen in the Champions League. However, this can be viewed positively as a sign of the control and maturity with which they are playing. For instance, when they were 3-0 up against Bournemouth before half-time, there was little indication they would turn it into a memorable rout, but also little sign they would let their opponents back into the game. In a season where an early 2-0 scoreline has been particularly precarious, Liverpool have shown resilience, being one of only 2 teams, along with Newcastle, not to have dropped points from a winning position. To watch our detailed video on Arne Slot's Liverpool transformation, click the first link in the description or the card in the top right corner. Another reason supporting Liverpool's title contention is that this season's title race appears weaker than it has in several years. After 11 matches, only 2 teams have accumulated 20 points or more, compared to 6 teams at this stage last season and 5 in the 2 seasons before that. Reigning champions Manchester City have picked up 23 points from 11 matches, but are currently on a 4-game losing streak across all competitions. Arsenal, meanwhile, are struggling in 4th place with just 19 points, also on a 4-game winless run that includes 2 draws and 2 losses in the league. While Liverpool's title rivals may improve over time, it's important to note that every team, except City, is currently at least 9 points behind them, a significant gap to overcome. And while Guardiola's side is known for their autumn wobbles before becoming virtually unstoppable in the spring, a pattern both Liverpool and Arsenal have fallen victim to, the prolonged absence of Rodri might make a comeback tougher this time round. Although Liverpool have yet to face second-placed City, they have already gone up against the 4 teams currently positioned between 3rd and 6th in the table, and they've played well in those matches, creating better chances than their opponents with the exception of Arsenal, where a 2-2 draw was both a fair reflection of the balance of play and a good result for Slot's side. Since the Premier League's formation in 1992, 11 different managers have won the league. 5 of them, including Arsène Wenger, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Manuel Pellegrini, and Antonio Conte, achieved this in their first full season, while Claudio Ranieri won it in his first year with Leicester City after a decade-long absence from the league. Behind them, Guardiola won it in his 2nd season, Roberto Mancini in his 2nd full season, and Kenny Dalglish in his 3rd season with Blackburn Rovers, while Klopp was unique in taking 4 full seasons to claim the title. This reveals a notable trend. When taking over a new club with ambitions to win the Premier League, a manager's best opportunity typically arises when they are still new to English football, before their outside methods have been figured out by opponents. Another key factor is that all of these managers have previously won league titles abroad, which may explain why Mikel Arteta, now in his 5th season at Arsenal, is still struggling to reach the finish line. Arne Slot stands out in this context, having won the Eredivisie with Feyenoord 2 seasons ago. Furthermore, the low expectations surrounding his arrival, influenced by perceptions of the Eridivisie's competitiveness, may actually work in his favor. His side seems to be playing freely, and he appears at ease taking over from Klopp. Notably, the supporters are more encouraging than demanding. Like many before him, Slot's first season in the Premier League could very well be his most successful. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.